How's it going, everyone? I want to make a watch list coming into trading from this long weekend into Tuesday. I have compiled a lot of the stocks. I got rid of a lot, but I compiled a big selection of stocks. So I'm going to put all these stocks in the description below so you can see it. But I'm going to talk about my strategy, how to trade momentum stocks that have been running, and I'm looking for the pullbacks and retest type patterns for continuation pattern up to the upside. Okay, so without further ado, since we got a lot to talk about, if your stock is in here, do watch throughout the whole video. I promise I'll get to all of them that I mentioned. But the first one is SPRC. SPRC has a big momentum trade, and so I'm going to briefly explain what I'm looking for is when price penetrates this upper band, which is this upper Keltner channel. It's at an extreme HER setting of 4. So it just means it's very bullish, right? And it's a very easy way. If I don't see a penetration, then I just ignore the stock. So it's an easy way to find these things. And then also I look for the EMA 50B at the very bottom. This light blue band tells me, okay, we're in a nice uptrend, okay? So then I look for two levels, just two levels. I skip the EMA 5, which is this purple, and I look to buy on the EMA 10. And you can see right in here, we get super duper close. I tend to buy just slightly above the EMA 10, so you can get filled if it does that. And you can see this monster return that this has done. We went from literally 39 cents all the way to $1.80. Monster return of over 350% doing this strategy. Now, we can play the EMA 10 again because it resets. Because once we hit this upper Keltner channel, we reset it. Usually I tell people I only play it one time on the 10. But right in here, we play it, reset it down in here, and look at this monster return here, 45%. I always take my 10% returns, but obviously if there's a big monster gap up, you make more returns. So you can do it how you want. I take my 10% and I trail and stop my stop loss. So I try to put the rest of my shares at break even, and I try to look for 20%, 30%. And you can see how you can make monster returns with this strategy. So that's the purpose of the strategy. SPRC is coming to my next level. Remember, we skip the EMAs. So we skip the 5 to play the 10. And then we skip the 20, which is what it's at right now, this dark blue band, and we want to look for the blue, this lighter blue, which is the 50. When you skip EMAs, you get higher value levels. You get more, big solid bounces. Because think of a stock, this would have to go, recently it's at $7. It would have to plummet all the way down to, not $7, 70 cents, and have to plummet to 40 cents. So you got that big drastic move, and then you're looking for that dead cat or algo bounce, and that's where the EMA 50 is going to be. So just keep in mind, this is a very nice company. It has pretty good, decent volume, so I like it, and I think we're going to get a really nice bounce, guys. So keep this in watch at the 45 to 50 cent area. And keep in mind, this is going to go up slightly each day, but that's my price range. All through in here, just a little higher, 45 to 50 cent region for SPRC of next week. And then also sometimes I look at the weekly chart. If there's nothing to really see, you can see we have some bands under here. But this EMA 20 matches the EMA 50 on the daily, so keep that in mind. I love that. EMA 20 on a weekly should match the EMA 50 on a daily, and they should be very close together. So VRME, this is the next solid company. Love this company. Oh my gosh, this thing has been having monster moves. So if you could see this right in here, we hit this upper Keltner channel. We unfortunately did not get no EMA 10 bounce for us to, or EMA 10 setup to get in. It never even got close to it. But now that I'm seeing, I think price can easily pull back to this level right here. So right in here on this EMA 10 is located at $3.02. Do keep in mind, it does go up every day as we are uptrending. So this EMA 20, or 10, my bad, should be about in the 3.10 to 20 range. So 3.10 to 20 is my buy zone for this EMA 10. I think we can definitely get that. We can see when price went down here, we had a nice solid bounce, and they just kind of been consolidating all throughout this range. So VRME, very solid company. I'm going to play the 10. And then you might ask, well, what if the play don't work? Well, your stop loss should always be about 15%. So I would put about 15% there, and it has to be a daily candle closing with a body under the EMA 10. So you need to wait till that daily candle closes. If it closes under this EMA 10, about 15% with a body, then I look to get out. Okay. Next company is RCAT. This is a very different scenario. So I wanted to show you guys something on using the daily and the weekly. So obviously we know this is extremely bullish. We hit this big upper Keltner channel. We had this bounce here on this EMA 10, making you way over 10%. And I can show you from here, you would enter, you make a 20% margin. You would always take your 10% gains. No question about it, because sometimes that's all you get. And then you trail and stop the rest of your shares. So and then this thing right here has never hit the 50. It got close. Sometimes when I see price get very super close, I tend to be a little hesitant, right? Because we get close and then we swiftly come back down. So what I like to do with RCAT is I like to look for the weekly chart. And I say, remember, the daily EMA 50 is going to match the weekly EMA 20, as that's going to be the closest resemblance. I will take a shot at RCAT right here at 7.25. That's where it's at right now. Do keep in mind it's going to go up about, in the last week it went up about 10 cents. So about 740 to 760 is my buy zone. So for RCAT, if it can drop $1, I'm all the way in. I love this company. I think this is going to have a monster bounce with Trump coming in. Definitely as they deal with the aerospace and defense. Big, massive bounce at this EMA 20 on the weekly. So remember, keep that one on the weekly chart. And that's why I said try to look at both signals. Daily EMA 50 gave us a signal, but if you look at the weekly EMA 20, you can get a slightly better entry. But also remember, too, we also got close to this, and sometimes the algos will count that as a touch. And when it immediately comes back down, it probably wants that EMA 20 on the weekly. So I just wanted to clarify that. ARBE, love this setup here coming in. We did get our bounce on this EMA 10. We hit the upper Keltner, so it qualifies. We had the EMA 50 at the bottom. And you can see right here from this EMA 10, we did get our 13% bounce if you bought it right there on the EMA 10. And that's why we take the gains. And we wouldn't have got stopped out because this is not about a 15%. We had way more room to go up from there, and we had beautiful bounce. I'm looking for this EMA 50 around it's going to be about 2.30 to 2.50 area. As you can see, it is going to go up about 2 cents. So I'm going to give it 2.30, actually the 2.40 range for a nice bounce here. And then I can look at the weekly chart, and you can kind of see the EMA 20 on the weekly is kind of in that range too. So I think we're gonna really like this stock, ARBE, and that deals with aerospace and defense. With Trump coming in office, those are the sectors you're going to want to be in. Quantum sectors have got a big hit due to the NVIDIA CEO saying it's going to take a while. But if I'm looking at this, we made massive money already. If you're in the Discord, you were fortunate right here. You made 132% bounce, hitting this upper band here, coming to the 10, making that next leg higher. And then we come all the way back down. We don't play the 10 again. We skip the 20, and we play it on the 50 now. We only play the 10 and the 50, and then you made another massive bounce of 42%. So you can see how this is drastically going higher, right? So you make your 10% here, you scale out, and you put a trailing stop loss, put your remainder shares at break even, like I tell everyone, and you just keep taking increments of 20%, 30%, 40%, and you just ride that puppy up. So I'm liking this, even though I said not to play it on the EMA 50 again, I'm liking Quantum Sectum because if we go to the lowest level on the weekly chart, which is the EMA 50, I will take one more stab at it. We made lots of money in the Discord. Congrats to everyone that was there. You guys know I played this one. 159. I would look for 160 to 170 area. Price right now has to drop a good bit to reach that. DATS, one of the best big runners we posted in the Discord too. Monster move up here, making the EMA 50 at the bottom. We have a monster move down, and then look at this beautiful setup from the 10 here. Monster move up, 132% gain. And you see the massive returns you're getting with this strategy. And then we come back down to the 10 and make another big move. Of course, I said I wouldn't play this. I only play each level once. So if we come all the way back down to 275 to I'm going to say 285 to 290 range. 285, 295. We'll give a 10-cent buffer. If it comes back down there, it just keep a watch. I don't think it will, but we have all week to look at it. This is a weekly watch list. SES, we did play this one. We're not going to play it again. People made some money on it, but let me get rid of that one. We're not going to look at that. If the play's dead, the play's dead, okay? QUBT, another quantum sectum stock here. Watching the weekly EMA 50, okay? We're watching only the weeklies for these quantum sectors at 4. We're going to look at it at 440 to 450 for that one. BMRA, this is a fresh setup just like that we're seeing. You see how we hit this upper Keltner channel? BMRA is coming back down. We're looking for price to come back to the EMA 10, and you can see the EMA 10 is going roughly about 4 cents up. So around 48 cents is the next candle on the Tuesday. It should open up. So look for around 48 to 55 area. It's at 64 cents. I think we can get a monster move up, and the volume tells me everything. Lots of volume, retest type pattern, EMA 50 at the bottom. I love that stock. It's one of my favorites. QBTS is another quantum stock. I'm watching all of them. Just keep in mind all of them for the weekly EMA 50. You look at your weekly chart, you can see massive bullish move. We skip the 10. We played the 10, and then we skipped the 20, and now let's play the 50 for the weekly. AVXL is the same pattern as RCAT. You see how we hit this upper band? We had this beautiful bounce on the EMA 10. We already made 36% on it. Massive moves. But when I'm looking at this thing, I can say, okay, how are we close to the EMA 20 where if price does come to that area, I won't be scared, right? Because I know I'm looking at the EMA 50, it's at $9.49. Well, I can get a big discount, about $1. We hit this EMA 20 on the weekly. So I'll try to play that one. I'll play it one time. If it don't work, whatever. My stop loss, I try to put my stop loss between the EMAs. So I'm only taking an 8%. I'll call it a 9% stop loss if a candle closes in that range. So no big deal. AVXL, I do like it though. Another big one was INTZ. This thing had a monster move. We can't just let this thing go unnoticed. Monster move up. We had this EMA 10. And actually, we did. This is a good scenario to show sometimes they don't work out. As you can see, this EMA 10 did not work out. Luckily, I did not play it because this would be a great setup to play. And it just went all the way through. As you can see how this daily candle closed under the 10. You do sometimes want to give it some more wiggle room. I just want to see, yeah, that would be about a 20%. So that one probably would not have worked out, even though you had this monster move up to take you out. So it's a big what if. I don't like to play hope the game. If it hits my stop loss, I'll just play another stock. No big deal. So I'm watching INTZ on the weekly daily EMA 50. That's at the range of 158. It's going to go up about 2 cents. So look for 160 to 170. I like the volume on this thing. Let's see if it gives us an entry on the 50. INTZ. KULR, we made massive money, and I'm still in on this one. KULR hit this upper band here. This is the gift on that keeps on giving. We hit the EMA 10, making over 20% there. You took your shares out, and then on the EMA 50, I have a 53% gain on that entry. I am still in it at 189, which is the EMA 50. I am still holding shares. I'm trailing, stopping it. I'm putting my shares at break even because I really think this company can go and make a higher up. I love this consolidation pattern for a big move up. So keep this one on watch. I really like KULR. And it's just a matter of how much money you make, because if you're in the Discord, you got the entry, and so now you just put your break-even stop loss, and you already took 10% gains. AMPX is coming up here. You can see we hit this lower 8 EMA 10. You can see how many times we keep getting this 10% gains. Look at this, perfectly 16%. You get in and you get out because if it doesn't work out, and it could plump back down. So you want to hurry up and get your money just in case if it does this pattern where it goes back and then consolidates on the 20. I'm looking for 1.40 area. I think if we drop down another 20 cents for AMPX, I would love it. OPTT is one of my most favorite stocks on the EMA 50. If this does it, this will be awesome. We played this thing many times before. You can see how the uptrend was beginning right in here. We played it on the 10. The daily candle did not close below the 10, and we had this nice move up to make over 20%. And then we come back again, and this was another big monster move. We come back to the 10, and guess what? We make another 20%. So we're making those 10% gains religiously, and then this EMA 50 is the next area of interest. It's located at 58 cents. So around 60 to 65 cents, I would like OPTT. GORO is a new, fresh trend idea. You see how the EMA 50 is just now crossing over? This is a new idea where we're hitting this upper band. We got nice volume. Everything has to have at least 1 million volume. If it don't, then I'm not looking at the stock. So this one is a nice idea at the 10, which is located at 31 cents. That's the next target I'd be looking for. So let's see if this can drop down roughly 12% for an entry. ONDS, this is another fresh trend idea. As you can see, this one did come up here and hit the upper band, so it qualifies. We take the trade on the 10 and you make your 10%, no big deal. And then it comes back down to the 50. We're looking around 165 area for that EMA 50 for an entry. So yeah, lots of stocks to look at, and that's why I'm saying I'm going to put them all in the description below so you guys can see, like, a lot of these plays are going to happen fast. You've got to be on your computer, got to be, looking at them. Right-click on your charts, create an alert. So if price goes up below here, you'll get an alert to say, hey, we're getting close to the CMA 50, and I tend to put my entry just above it to catch that new uptrend idea. So this one actually is interesting. I did not play this one. I was looking over the weekend. We hit this upper band, so it qualifies for a trade. We hit this EMA 10, and we're kind of just break even right here if you took it. So if you're in the Discord or if you're trading my system, you would take an entry here at $4. It went a little bit below, then it came back up, and that's why you only stop off when a daily candle with a body closes under it. But this is actually still in the trade. So you would look for a setup that goes up. So if you're not in this trade, you could get in this, right away, right here at that $4 mark, and see if you can get that 10%, which use your data price range. 10% would be roughly 444 from your entry. And then last setup would be the EMA 50. INVZ, this is definitely one to watch as you had this monster move up. This is not to take in lightly. So we're going to look for a setup at the EMA 50. Same thing right here. You probably would have got stopped out if you played it on the 10. I didn't see this one, so that's, luckily I've been playing better quality stocks. But yeah, I do like this one on the EMA 50, which is at 125. R&R is a very nice company. You can see when the trend is really strong, you can see that it kind of staircases up, right? We hit this upper band, we hit this 10, get our 10% bounce. I'm looking for that EMA 50 at 191. So you might ask, well, what is the best play? We don't know. The algos are going to say which EMAs it's going to make the biggest bounce. I've seen EMA 10 make the biggest bounce. I've seen EMA 50. We just don't know. But I will say EMA 10 is oftentimes probably the biggest because a lot of times when you're in that momentum type of thing, the longer the time passes by, people will get bored. So when we come up into this area, we have a nice little pullback. And then look at this monster return of 70% on that EMA 10. Monster return. NXU is a great idea, a fresh trend. You can see how it's respected. Right here, it made a 100% move from our EMA 10. We come back to this EMA 50. It's so close, so definitely keep an eye on this one at the 50-cent mark. If it drops about 5 more pennies, I'm definitely going in on this one. And I can check the weekly chart to see if it makes sense. If the weekly chart don't make sense, I just won't really look into it as much. You can see the EMA 10 is at 45 cents. So everything is in line. I would put, a 15% stop loss from this EMA 50 downwards. BB is BlackBerry. Nice solid company here. You can see how our system works on this thing. We made our 20% on the 10. Look for the EMA 50 area. Might not happen the next week. It would have to drop to the 3.30 area. RVSN is one of my most active alerts in here. The bigger you go above the Keltner channel and you end it with a body that is very extremely bullish, you come to the 10 and you make our nice 10% bounce. And then the 50 is so super duper close that I'm looking for this area. And then you can also look at the weekly chart and be like, okay, we have an area of 88 cents on the weekly EMA 20. We have an area of 95 cents on the daily EMA 50. So I can conclude that 85 to 95 is your buy range for RVSN. HOTH is a fresh idea where we made monster money on here, where we hit this 10, and you can see, look at the massive return here of over 100% on that EMA 10. So you just don't know. It could be 10%. It could be, and that's why I say take some off the table and then scale out, okay? So I usually do 90% at 10% gain, and then I hold the rest of my shares at break even, and I keep scaling out as price goes up monster, every 10% increments. HOTH is a very good setup at the EMA 50 at 108. So you can see the mass amount of effort that is put into this. There's a lot of stocks to look at. So it's going to be a big watch list for the whole week. So, there's plenty of setups. There's no reason you won't be able to find setups with this strategy. Let's keep moving forward with AISP. You can see right here, actually this would not qualify as we did not hit the upper channel. So I'm going to take this one off. As you can see, if you don't hit this upper counter channel, just take it off. Does not qualify with this system. So we just did HOTH. AMPX, we did hit the upper channel here. We take the 10 bounce here. You only take it one time. You made 44%. Next target is 2.50 area on the EMA 50. MVST, a lot of chatter on this one. I would count this one as close enough. It looks like it got really duper close. I would like to see price to go to that EMA 50 on MVST. About 1.50 area. So let's keep an eye on that. FUBO is an active alert right now. As you can see, we had this monster move up, very bullish. We're coming into a consolidation right here on the EMA 10, and we finally just touched it right here at 3.80. This is a great area to buy. If it does not work, no big deal. But as you can see, 10% is 419, and then your stop loss would be, in my opinion, 8% if it closes under there. Your risk versus reward is really good in this area. I definitely take this trade here, guys. Definitely love this FUBO trade. LPSN is a nice active alert. You see how you won on the 10. Now you're waiting for the EMA 50. So you just got to understand, look at the chart. Did we hit the 10? If you already hit the 10, then you wait for the 50, right? If you didn't hit the 10 like FUBO, and you still didn't have that bounce effect, we're going to play those 10% bounces. I think FUBO is really good. LPSN is another solid trade. It has over 1 million volume. We play it right here at that 113 mark. AIRE, and this one is a trickier one, right? Because remember last time I said when it gets close enough, sometimes the algos will like to count as a touch. We did make our money here on the 10 of 30% gain. When it's coming to this EMA 50, it did not touch. But so I'll look for the weekly candle. Is the weekly EMA 20 close enough? And I can kind of see at 148 this is at 158. I don't mind taking this on the EMA 50. And I'll have my loading zone 148 to 158 is my area. I think AIRE is really good. It's got decent volume. But I do see like this one, it kind of consolidated with low volume. Not my favorite, because like I said, when you get close enough, sometimes the algos will try to catch it, but I don't think 148 to 158 is a bad area. This thing had monster volume. It's not something to, sleep on either. SENS is just going up crazy. This one, in my opinion, we already played the 10, so we can't play the 10 here. If we get an upper band touch, I'll reset the whole thing and play the 10 again. But as of right now, this is just a 50 play, so we might have a while to go on SENS. ACHR is in the sector of aerospace and defense. I told you with Trump, and Elon Musk going in. That's 2025 is, that's the sector to be in. I'm looking for this EMA 50 around 7.95, and then set to a low of $7. So probably 720 to 790 is the range there, using the weekly EMA 20 with the daily EMA 50. LUNR, not too shabby. If we can get that, we touched it way back here. If we can go back into the 1490 range, I like LUNR a lot. And that's in the same specter of aerospace and defense. SANA is an active trade that I'm waiting on. You see how we hit this upper channel here, but we don't have the 50 at the bottom? I have to wait till that EMA 50 is at the bottom. So I'm not going to take this EMA 10 or anything till I see that EMA 50 at the bottom. So keep that one on alert, and it could take, swift down in a day or two. LAES is one of my most favorite things that we've made massive money on in the Discord. You can see right in here, massive move up to the 10, making 61%, and then the EMA 50 making 100% almost. So my last area, since I won't play the 50 again, I will take one more shot. And like I said, if I see the weekly candle with an EMA 50 at the very bottom, you won't see this a lot unless it's a very big uptrend. I'll take one more shot at 2.50 area. EOSE is a very nice, solid uptrend. Can't doubt that. Look at this. But now that I'm looking at it, we really don't have a big pierce, so I'm going to get rid of this one. You see how sometimes you can get rid of stuff they don't match. CRNC, this is a very solid uptrend. Massive up here. You hit the 10. Let's see if this actually gave you your 10%, because like I said, sometimes it don't. It did. It gave you 12%. You would have taken that nice little gain. So that one did work for us, but not probably as big as what we usually see. EMA 50 is located at $9 area. I'll watch that for CRNC. INVX, we went, and this is a trade that you would have failed on, and it happens. We hit this upper band, we come plummeting down, and the 10 just don't give us any bounce. A 3% bounce is not big enough. You take your stop loss halfway between the 10 and the 20 because the body closed there, and then right in here, actually you would have redeemed yourself and played it. Unfortunately, I didn't see this. You would have made little gains. I don't like how this one moves, so I will probably just based on how I seen it go through the 10 like that, I will probably delete this one off. And that's how I'm doing that stuff. So you get a real thing of how do I look to get rid of stuff and all that. VUZI is a different, interesting stock here. I can see the weekly EMA 20 acting as very strong support here at 2.50. So just kind of keep that one on a watch. This one, CRNT, had a monster move up. We come very close to the 10, and this is when I try to act like, you know, sometimes the algos will count that, and then you see how then it touches again and goes right through it. I would watch this EMA 50. Make sure you put your orders in slightly above it so you can get filled, because if it does this kind of motion where it gets a little above it, and then it makes this monster return, you're gonna wish you got in, right? Not my favorite, though. I wouldn't say this is one of my favorites. It's just on the back burner. PTI is Tetra Teching, so you can look at the profile, oil and gas, monster move up, and fresh idea, fresh trend. I'm looking for EMA 10 in the $4 area. QURE, we're back to the quantum sector. I wanted, no, this is biotech, my bad. QURE, fresh idea here. We're coming here. Unfortunately, we blew right through the 10. So your last area resort is EMA 50 at $12.56. I tend to, not like biotech as much. They're more more riskier. So do keep that in mind. But stick to the rules. 15% stop loss. It's not a bad idea. This one right here at NAC reset the whole channel by hitting this. We hit the 10 here, got a nice beautiful bounce here, makes our money. We're looking at 53 cents from the EMA 50. Sorry this is taking a while. ABAT is coming in right here for a fresh idea at the EMA 50 at 160 area. VNet is coming right here. We hit the 10, so ignore that. Look for the 4.30 for VNet. And then we got CGBS. This one is a really nice idea, but as you can see, we don't have the EMA 50 at the above, and we don't have an upper band touch, so we can get rid of this one. So GEVO is one of my fresh ideas that I think is going to hit next week. This is at the 1.90 area is all loading zone. Right here, you made your massive gains on the 10. Actually, not really. This one you probably would have got stopped out because you only made 8% and went down halfway, but obviously you're not going to lose much. Halfway mark is a 4% stop loss. I do half marks because I don't want to be like, well, I'm going to stop out way at the EMA 50 when I'm supposed to be buying at the 50. So if you do a stop loss between the EMA 10 and 20, candle closes below here, you get stopped out, okay? Nice idea, just doesn't move a lot. Now that I'm seeing the candles, I would look for 5% gains on this because they just don't move a lot. Real is a nice idea coming into. You can look at the candles don't move a lot either. If you're scanning them, they're going like 2, 5%. So I would look for half the candle mark. I would look for 5% gains. If I'm playing on the EMA 50, 5% would be, a little bump right in here. Not the greatest momentum stocks, but I'm going to put it in because it does meet the system. As you can see on this EMA 10, you did make over 30% at that area. CTM is a beautiful trade, and I'm actually in the Discord right now. If you guys played this one, you're in with me at the EMA 50, and you're up 95%. The next area that I would play only, and like I said, if I see an EMA 50 on the weekly, at the very bottom, I will play that as a last resort. KIT is one of my most favorite stocks here. The only thing that I'm seeing is, we got very close here. We had this massive move of over 50% from here to 78%. So a lot of times it might count as a touch, but I am going to look at the weekly and be like, what's happening too? It looks like we kind of penetrated through it. I could take a trade on the EMA 50 on the weekly. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. My stop loss is going to probably be 15%, as this is very volatile. I want to get the heck out if it don't work, and that has to be a daily candle closing under the EMA 50. SLDP, same thing as KIT, got very close, had this monster bounce. I'm waiting for that EMA 50 at 1.50. Atom is a very fresh idea. You see how we hit this EMA 50, hitting this upper band. We had this 10 bounce here, nice move. But I'm waiting for the weekly EMA 20 at 7.50. If we don't get that, I won't take it. I'd like to look at both signals there, guys. Lastly, we got RLX. This one does not qualify. I'm not going to look at that one, so we can get rid of that. REKR is a fresh idea on the EMA 50, so keep this one on watch. TDUP, I'm just watching this one because unless we get an upper band touch, then I'll count this as the system, but we don't have that yet. GFAI, we definitely have it. Watch the EMA 50 for a bounce idea. And then Nido is actually one of my most favorite stocks that I'm watching because it met the system. Beautiful bounces right here, 50% bounce, way above the Keltner channel. EMA 50, no problem in the 60 cents. And then PRZO, just watch this. You can see, not my most favorite, but we did get a touch here. If we ever get to the EMA 50, I'll take it, okay? So sorry for the long video. It's about 30 minutes. If your stock's in this, just scroll through it. But these are lots of stocks that I want to talk about. This is all in my weekly watch list. And you can see how some of them don't work, but the majority, probably 2 of them didn't work. And over like 60 stocks I talked about made, big, massive bounces of over 20% at least. Some making over 100%. Some I'm in still, like KULR, CTM, because I'm trailing stopping. I put up I put a stop loss at break even. I'm going to see how high those stocks can go. I'm going to play the best ones. If I see that the stock just doesn't really fit the system and doesn't really, do those nice bounces on the 10, and then I'm like, you know what, maybe this stock just does its own thing. So hope you guys liked the video. If you guys want to join the premium Discord, click the link down below in the YouTube comments below, and in the description it'll say join the premium Discord for my alerts and system. It'll take you to this free chat landing page. If you want to subscribe, just hit day trade alerts. Right in here, it'll say join the premium Discord for my alerts and system, and you'll have access to all my alerts. Day trades, swing trades for only $12 a month. If you subscribe on the computer, you avoid the iOS fee. Definitely recommend doing that. And you guys will be watching all the education videos, be part of the premium chat. I just wanted to make a quick watch list of momentum trades that meet the system, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.